And welcome back, YouTube. This is Boosterbox Buster here with another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing for you from the Pop-Up Parade anime figure line. From the company Good Smile Company, we have IP Masquerena from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game Monster Figure Collection series. The box is a very standard size box. It's not overly large, just to kind of give you an idea. Here's a Coke can. For an anime figure, this is not a very large box. Probably about 3 Coke cans tall. You can tell they really loved the yellow and purple scheme with this particular box. And then here is the top of the box. Very cute. And the bottom of the box has nothing special. But of course, you didn't come here to look at a box, you came here to look at the actual anime figure. And here she is, IP Masquerena in all of her glory. Used to be one of the most iconic and annoying Link monsters in the entire game, has now been relegated to kind of more of a extender more than anything. It's sad that she used to be incredibly powerful, but now she is just one of the gals that you just throw in the side deck. For comparison, here is a Coke can compared to her. She stands roughly about 2 Coke cans, maybe just a little over 2 tall. And I gotta say, for a more affordable anime figure option, the quality is actually pretty good for the most part. Of course, when you have a more conscious, budget-friendly figure, you are going to have a very basic base, of course. And one thing that really does annoy me is this big ol' blob of clear cement, it's clear plastic that is used for the base connection. I understand it's there for the base connection, but man, it just does not look good for that big of a blob. I wish her leg was closer in the bottom of the connection piece. Was at the bottom of her skate, but it is what it is. And another kind of griping point, they don't use any metal studs for the connection, so it's all plastic studs, so that is a lot more prone to breaking if you ever need to remove this figure from the base. And of course we have the plastic support piece to keep her leg up. That doesn't bother me as much, but it's just annoying that they had to use this big old blob of clear plastic for the base connection. So we're going to kind of take a look at the actual base of the figure here. You can tell she has some very nice rollerblades. Black with black laces and a very nice yellow tongue. Very cool silver colored blade guards with the actual rollerblades themselves being a yellow and black color. Very cool. As you can tell, it's the same on this, and of course, being a budget figure, they're not going to move it. Probably wouldn't move anyway, even if it was a more expensive figure. I gotta say, I really love the metallic purple and yellow that they went with for her pants here. That looks really well done. Really shiny. I do like that quite a bit. And then you get up to her thighs. You see this yellow and silver stripe where a pocket might be. Same with here. And then of course you have the midriff of the character, as she's wearing a more cut-off top here. And then we move up to the top, where she keeps the yellow, purple, and silver theme going by having this really interesting stripe around the chest area. And then it's not quite a coat, but it's more than a cloak. This translucent piece that kind of flows nicely off the back. That's a really nice looking piece there. I do like that translucent. I don't know. I'm just going to call it a coat, like a, maybe almost like a poncho, like a, that she's wearing. And then of course we got her arms that lead to some very fancy purple gloves. In her left hand, she is holding a lollipop and kind of giving you a playful look, like she's taking a look at the lollipop and giving you a little winky face. Of course, we got these hook-like attachments on the back here. I'm not 100% sure what those are. Apologies. And then we got these tail-like attachments as well. I believe that's to be the extender for a Link monster. I believe they're almost like energy coils, like to charge up. Then of course we got the actual face itself. I think the face is painted quite well. Of course you got one eye winking and the other eye, like I said before, giving you a very playful look. She's kind of sticking out her tongue, which actually works pretty well for this figure. A lot of figures get the mouth wrong, and this one does a very, very good job with the mouth, face, nose. I gotta say, especially for a budget figure, this does not feel like a budget figure for the face. It's a very well painted face. The hair, anime figure hair is always one of the hardest parts to get right, and here it does a good job. It's not great, but it does an okay job. It still has that spaghetti type of hair look, but you're gonna get that with any type of anime figure. I do love the twin tails on it, as the character is always portrayed as. And then we get to the actual mask part, which is really cool. I love that little mask, as the name suggests, IP Masquerena. Very in character. And I gotta say, overall, this represents the Yugioh franchise well. It's a very well done character model of the IP Masquerena character. If I were to change one thing, obviously, I'd change the base. The base is not good. I wish it had a metal rod to give it more support. With a metal rod, you might be able to get away with a bit more of a subtle support base. You might not even need a support base at all if you had a good enough metal rod insertment. I wish your rollerblades work, but once again, you ain't gonna get that even with the most expensive of anime figures. And these links are just a bit, I believe that's the actual way they are on the card, but it just looks a bit off. It just looks almost like a band of hot dogs instead of the actual charging cables. And I will say this. For a budget figure, it does a lot of good things right. I do like it as a budget figure. I love the very glossy purple paint, very reminiscent of the character herself. And I gotta say, it's not the iconic original pose of her kind of sitting down, but it's still a very cool pose to put IP Masquerena in as well. Overall, a very good budget figure to add to your Yu-Gi-Oh figure collection, or just anime figure collection in general. I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's definitely a good figure. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of the IP Masquerena Good Smell Company Pop-Up Parade figure. If you would add this to your collection, and what you think of the card itself. Do you still use it in your deck? Have you never used it? Let me know in the comments down below. This is going to be the first of a few different Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime figures that I have to review, so keep a lookout for those in the future. Until then, this is Booster Box Buster, and I'm signing out. Peace.